Assalamu alaikum all. So today I'm going to be talking about learning languages kind of needs to involve a lot of novelty and new content. So basically what I mean by this is that, when you're learning the same thing over and over again, it can be a bit repetitive, a bit boring. And, this is like a tip I picked up from Lingo Steve, which is a channel I talk about loads. And I talk about a video that he did about this, and I'll make sure to link it in the description. And it's something that kind of really helped me out massively. And it's definitely a game changer when you're trying to learn a language. And it's about, just kind of moving on to new things and not just being stuck on the same thing. And I'll explain how it's been such an amazing thing for me in my language learning journey. So, hello everyone. On this channel, I share my journey learning languages as a Muslim and try to share the best tips. Now, one of the things learning languages is that you can get bored. You're kind of going over the same phrases or text and things like that. And, it's hard to stay consistent as well. You try to, when I'm on the way to work or something and I'm on the tube, I'm trying to pick up a book or something, or trying to, learn some things. I used to do a lot of flashcards before. So there was an app called Anki, which is quite popular for people that want to sort of learn things. And I just found it was just just didn't really enjoy it because you're kind of going over the cards, which one you remember, which one you don't remember. And I just kind of really can't get into it. So one of the things I definitely learned on this language learning journey is to keep things fun and easy. And by doing that, it's more likely that I want to stick to language and keep learning and keep continuing trying to learn. Now, language learning is a lot about keeping it fresh. So it's not about doing the same thing over and over again. One of the biggest things that happened to me was that I just kept getting stuck on trying to learn something really, really well, trying to understand every single word. But for some reason, it wasn't getting into my brain. My brain needs time to make those connections and stuff. So it was just something that I was just sort of stuck on for a long time. And it kind of just adds a bit of sort of friction to the learning and can make it easy for people to kind of give up. Now, I was stuck on a particular question. I just could not figure it out. And it was something to do around the grammar and to do with you, I, we, the kind of what person form that you're talking about in the language. And when you get all these grammar rules, it gets very kind of confusing. And when I'm trying to use this question's got it written in one specific way. Now, what worked really well for me was just to kind of move on, see the answer quite quickly, and just see the grammar rule in kind of different examples. As I kept kind of continuing on, I would see the particular thing that I was stuck on in different contexts, in different angles, in different sentences, and this made a massive difference. So if I had just stayed stuck on that same thing, just trying to figure it out before I moved on, probably just would it ever happen? It's important to see things from different angles, different areas, have different people explain things to you in a different way, different book, things like that. So this made a massive difference. And why is that? And the reason is that this kind of goes to whole kind of brain science and neurology and all of that sort of thing. So the brain likes novelty, it likes new things, it likes fresh things. And I remember I was listening to a podcast with Max Lugave. He writes a book called Genius Kitchen or Genius Food. So it's all about food that is good for the brain and stuff. And one of the things he was talking about, it's good for you to go out to different environments, different experiences, and let enlighten yourself and see new things. So for example, instead of going to the same supermarket every time, go to a different supermarket. Your brain kind of gets intrigued. You want to know what's going on, what's happening here. Or if you go to a different country, so I'm going to France soon, I'll go to a French supermarket. It's quite nice, it's more novel and things like that. And I'm going to see things in a new light. So that's why it's really good to expose yourself to language in lots of different formats and not kind of stay in the same example, the same video and things like that. And so definitely for example, languages, hearing people talking in different, with different words, but also the different people speaking the same thing as well. It will just give you a different context, a different feel, a different flavor. It's really good. And another thing that Lingo Steve talks about, I think there's another person that, I think his name is Stephen Krashen as well, which is that to focus on understanding and not speaking and writing. So in order to do that is that, I need to make sure I listen and read a lot. And that to improve my comprehension, that's the most important thing. Everything else will follow, the speaking, everything else will kind of follow afterwards. But that's the most important thing for me to kind of get into language. How am I going to speak in language if I don't understand it? If I don't understand the grammar rules, this, that, and the other. So I'm just focusing on listening and reading, watching videos and things like that. That's the most important thing that I'm doing. And also as I've probably alluded to already, is a big lesson. Don't spend too much time on one question or one bit, spend a bit of time. And don't feel pressure to not look at the answer. I would just wait a bit, look at the answer, kind of, okay, answer the question and then move on. to the next one. That's why the Asimil books are really good, because they give you really easy access to the answers, which I really like. Now, another thing is, as well, is although I'm using the Asimil book at the moment, and I watch particular video channels like Florian Air, there's another one as well just about French cooking and stuff. Easy French is another really kind of good channel. It's like, I watch videos from different channels, or sometimes I might get bored of a particular channel and you know what, let me just try something else. So it's very good to try different books, different videos on the same subject. Now, a very common technique that I've heard about is when people are learning a language and they're using a starter book, like in my case, I'm using this one, the Asimil one, is that some people also, once they've kind of maybe finished the book or made good progress on it, they'll get a different book as well, which will explain the same topic, but in a different way by a different author. So it's a good way to kind of cement ideas and things like that in your brain. And it's all about kind of seeing things in different contexts as well. So for example, like au marché, which is like a market, I'll see that word used in different contexts, like by different people, how to go to the market, what you buy at the market and things like that. And all of that kind of different ways of hearing that word being used will kind of help kind of build it up in my head. So yeah, so basically that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today. It's just about keeping things fun and easy. And if you do get stuck on something, just move on, try something else, and you'll come up. The things and languages come up over and over again. They don't just happen once. And then as you move on more and more and more, this is what I've seen from everything that I've done, is the more that word I will get exposed to, or those concepts, those grammar, and then it should just hopefully just, get into my brain. It's all about just chucking stuff up in my brain, like literally just words and reading and things like that. So yeah, just want to say assalamu alaikum. Thanks for watching. If you've got any benefit from the video, then please hit that like button. Thanks a lot. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.